Hello and welcome to this video. In this very short video, I would like to show how to do beta calculations in Excel. So how to apply the capital asset pricing model in practice. The agenda for today is rather short because I just want to show how to do those beta calculations in Excel. I switch to my desktop and then I proceed. Okay, I'm arrived on my desktop and I have already opened up an internet browser because I need some data, some capital market data, to do my beta calculations. Well, I decided to go to Yahoo Finance, that is finance.yahoo.com, and, well, I would like to do some calculations for a certain peer group of German car producers, okay? So what do I need? I need, for example, Daimler. So here's dai.de. .de means that it is etc. traded in Frankfurt. Daimler, I just click on it. There is Daimler. And if I go down, I find some historical data. I click on historical data. And here I can choose which time period I want to analyze. I think the last year is quite fine for me, so the last year is quite fine for me. Show historical prices is fine. Frequency daily is fine. But if you feel you want to have a longer period than that, you're free to change it. But you have to click apply and then it updates the data. If you now want to download it, here's the download link. Just click it and you get a download for this historical data. The download now is a CSV file. It means comma separated value. Although it looks a bit like an Excel file, it's not a typical Excel file. In fact, it's a text file. You can right click on it, open with and the editor, and you will see that it is a text file. Here you see the individual days line by line. First you see the date. Then you see the open price, you see the high price, you see the low price, you see the close price and the adjusted close, as well as the volume. What we are looking for is the adjusted close because historical prices are here, adjusted for dividend payments and other changes just like equity splits or share splits or whatsoever. I just download further stocks and, of course, I have to download the DAX. Okay, as you see here on my desktop, I have downloaded Daimler, BMW and Volkswagen. And of course, now I need a large stock price index to represent my market portfolio. I choose the DAX 30, GDAX-I. The DAX 30 represents roughly 80% of the German market capitalization, so it is quite representative for the German market, and assumingly it should be a good approximation for the market portfolio. Let's go into historical data and download, and that's it. Now I can close my browser and I have to open up Excel. Here's my Microsoft Excel and I just drag and drop all those files in there. It is absolutely normal that for each file a new window will be opened. As you see, Excel has not noticed that this is not an Excel file. Excel is writing everything in one line. We have to change this, of course, by clicking on the A column, Data, Text to Columns, Separated, and we need to tick mark the comma. And as you see down here, immediately Excel notices, oh, I should separate at a comma, and that's it. Here you got the data. I just repeat this for all other sheets too. The next step I have to proceed is to aggregate all the data in one workbook. I just drag and drop the individual tabs into one workbook, and automatically Excel closes the windows where there is no tab anymore. All right. Now I rename the tabs. I now aggregate the data on a new tab. I call this beta calculation, or just beta. For the beta tab, I need the dates and the adjusted close price from the DAX. So I copy date, put it into the beta sheet or tab, and adjusted close, copy it, and put it into the beta tab. I just remove the word adjusted close and replace it by DAX. What I cannot do is to just copy in BMW, Daimler and Volkswagen. Of course, I want to have the data here next to it, but I can't simply copy it. Why not? Because I'm not 100% sure if the date structure is identical, especially if I use market data from different nations. Often they have different days off, different opening days of the stock exchange or whatsoever, and it doesn't work out then. So I need to use a VLOOKUP or S-Verweis. In English it is VLOOKUP, vertical lookup. In German it is S-Verweis. What is the VLOOKUP looking for? It is looking for the date. Where should it look it up? Of course in the Daimler sheet, in this area from A to F in this matrix, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th column. And we have to hand over the parameter false or falsch in German to force an exact match. And there's our Daimler price, adjusted price for the 10th of January. I just fix that the A column stays the same. And I also fix the lookup columns. And now I can reuse the same formula for Volkswagen and BMW, just replacing the sheet name. And now I have all the closing prices of Daimler, Volkswagen and BMW on the same sheet. The next step I have to proceed is to calculate the logs, so the log returns of these prices. So log return of the DAX, log return of Daimler, log return of Volkswagen, and log return of BMW. How do we calculate log returns again? We take the natural logarithm of today minus the natural logarithm as of yesterday. I can't do this for the very first day because there's no yesterday in the data for the very first day, right? So here we have the log returns, and I just pull down the formula for all these numbers. Okay. For the calculation of the betas, of course, I need a bit more space, so I just put some lines in here. And I freeze the panes down here. Now I can scroll through the data and I can do some calculations here on top. So the first thing I would like to calculate, of course, is the equity beta. Please keep in mind that the equity beta is, of course, a levered beta. So what again is the beta? The beta is the slope of some regression line. Maybe we should first visualize this regression line so that we know what we're talking about. I'm going to visualize the regression line for Daimler and against the DAX, of course. Can only be the DAX. And I just do scatter plot here. I check what the axis is. Perfect. We have DAX on the x-axis and Daimler on the epsilon axis. That's exactly how we want to have it. And now I can add a trend line. Of course, a linear trend line, but we want to have a formula and we want to have the R-square. I can make this a little bigger so that you can better see it. So here it is. Here's our OLS regression line. We see that the cloud of points seems to match more or less perfectly to this line, and we see a beta coefficient of 1.5651. We see quite high R-square. That's really high. Nice. So the formula that we need now is slope, or in German Steigung. Slope or Steigung. We need to hand over the epsilon values first. So epsilon here is Daimler. And then we need to hand over the x values, which is the DAX. And I guess this will lead to an error. There it is. There's the error. Let's see if the others run into error too. Obviously, all of them run into error. Why is this the case? Let's have a look at the data. I just scroll down a little. Oh, there I see problems. We don't have data here. We have gaps in the data. So, we need to get rid of the problem that we have gaps in the data. NAs, not a number or whatsoever. So, there's a trick I would like to show you. If we use the slope command here, Steigung is slope, we can let the computer check if there is a number. So here we have the epsilon values, here we have the x values. For both individually, we have to check whether they are numbers or not. The command in English is number. The command in German is Ist-Zahl. Is number in English or Ist-Zahl in German. Okay, but that's not enough. That's not enough here. By the way, this division by 0 is because I just didn't fix the epsilon values, right? So G has to be fixed here. It has to be fixed. Sorry for that. Well, is number. Now, this is not sufficient. We have to check if it is a number. So we use the if command, or in German, wenn. So if it is a number, then something shall happen. So it should take these numbers. Same here. If command, or in German, wenn. If it is a number, then take this number. Now you have certainly noticed that this is not a normal formula. This is a matrix formula, because we do an if, or wenn, for a whole bunch of numbers and not only for one. To input a matrix formula, we can't simply press enter. We have to press Ctrl, Shift and enter. Little correction, okay. There it is. Hopefully this works out for the other ones. Perfect. Same for DAX. Yes, there it is. So DAX, of course, per definition has a beta of 1, but we see 1.59 for Daimler, 1.41 for Volkswagen and 1.17 for BMW. Since car producers are all cyclical, the beta should be above 1. That's in line with our expectations. Now, this is the equity beta. We could stop here, but we don't want to, right? We want to know how to unlever those betas too. So what we need for unlevering those betas, of course, is the debt. Normally, the leverage that we apply now should be calculated on market values. But it is very hard to collect the data for debt market values, and it is a very good approximation to use book values for the debt. So this is book value as of 2019. And for Daimler, it is 241 billion. For Volkswagen, it is 366 billion. And for BMW is 168, all in billions. For the equity, this is completely different. For the equity, we use market data. So market capitalization as of today. And that is 62 billion for Daimler, 30 billion for Volkswagen, and 42 billion for BMW. Now we can calculate the leverage ratio based on market values. The leverage ratio is debt over equity. So the leverage ratio for Daimler based on market values is 3.88. It is 12.2 for Volkswagen, and it is 4 for BMW. And last but not least, we can now calculate the asset beta, but we need some tax rate to calculate that. So tax rate. For Germany, it is 29% something, so I just round up to 30%, that's it. 0.3, that's 30%. I can turn it into percentages if you like to. And now the asset beta, the beta of the unlevered firm, is of course given by the equity beta that we have to unlever. So we divide, because we are unlevering, we use brackets, 1 plus another bracket, now the leverage ratio, times another bracket, 1 minus the tax rate, and we close brackets. And there it is. Our asset beta is 0.43 for Daimler, 0.14 for Volkswagen, and 0.3 for BMW. Can you realize this asset beta on your own? Of course, you can unlever those companies in your own portfolio, but I have shown in another video how that works out. I hope this video was informative. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.